What's going on, everybody? It is Albino Raven here, and I have a question. Are you new to Call of the Wild? Do you need help with Call of the Wild? This series is for you. This is a beginner series for the Hunter Call of the Wild. So far, I've got about 7 episodes of stuff that, people usually tend to need help with, and understanding stuff I wish I knew whenever I started playing the game. So, if you guys can think of anything else you'd like to know at the end of this series, let me know. Or in the beginning, in the middle, you can. If I'm going to cover it, I'll just give you the thumbs up and say I'm going to cover it. So, with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, first thing is wind. So, in Hunter Call of the Wild, you have wind that shows up, right? So, what you do is, in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a compass. It has north, south, east, and west. You have a green cone that is facing, right now it's facing south. What that means is the wind is coming from your back, blowing towards whatever you're facing. How you want it is, you want it to be like that, i.e. the wind is blowing in your face away from the animals that you're walking towards. That's very key because animals can sniff you from within usually about 200 meters, 150 meters, so on and so forth. Very important. Next thing, visibility. Look at the compass in the bottom right hand corner. Sorry, I'm pointing to like you can see this, but obviously you can't see this. It's going to be down here somewhere. Yeah, there. Anyways, look at that. It's right next to the heart. You see a ginormous circle whenever I walk? That is your visibility. What that is, it's basically just telling you how visible you are to whatever animals that you're trying to hunt, or actually any animal. It's not just animals you're trying to hunt. So, whenever you have this eye looking thing, it's not a full circle, it's like a eye colored, eye shape, whatever. That's telling you basically you're pretty visible to any animal within like 200 meters, give or take. So, whenever you have the full circle, that's, I'm pretty sure we'll say 300 meters, maybe 250. Whenever you walk around here, you will have that. So, that will be what you have whenever you're in a bush. It's a line, line with a half circle. That's outside of a bush. That's usually meaning you're going to be seen within about 50 meters, give or take, right? Whenever you go over here and you're in a bush, you have the line. That means pretty much 25 meters, give or take. That's whenever an animal's going to notice you. Whenever you have this, no, hang on one second. Aha! Whenever you have this, if you'll notice right here, I'll put an arrow pointing to it again. Oh, something's calling for me. You have no visibility. You are completely invisible. Animals can get within like 10 meters, maybe even less. They won't see you. They might smell you or hear you. They won't see you. Next thing, sound. Yodelay-hee-hoo. It is a speaker in the bottom right hand corner. Right under your binoculars, you'll see a little bitty speaker icon. When you walk, you see that it gets louder. You see the bars. When you run, you'll see red bars. When you walk, you'll see white bars. And when you crouch, you'll see even less. What that's telling you is how loud you are. Basically telling you need to shut up and, yeah. Also, when you walk through different kind of brush, different brush makes different amounts of noise. So, as you can see right now, I'm walking through just regular grass, no big deal, right? I walk through a big bush, it makes a lot more noise. You start getting red bars. Be very mindful of that. Whenever you're looking and you're trying to track an animal, you might want to take this route instead of this route. Just a thought, right? Next, we're going to talk about how far do you want to walk whenever you're trying to track an animal? Good question. So, what you want to do, the way I pretty much have found that works best for me is I'll sprint anywhere until I'm within about 250 meters of an animal. So yeah, we'll say 250 meters, I quit sprinting and I start walking. I stop walking whenever I get within about 150 meters, give or take. Whenever I stop walking is about actually I stop, like I said, I stop walking at 150, which means I go into a crouch. Boom, like so. Whenever I get to about 80 meters, 80 to 90 meters, I go into a prone. That way, basically, animals have a lot harder of a time seeing me, i.e. the visibility. I don't want them to hear me or see me. You want to make as little noise as possible whenever you're trying to sneak up on that legendary red deer. Although I've not found one yet, so obviously I'm doing something wrong. It's kind of relevant, but kind of not. So whenever you first start, we'll say with the 243, right? Your rifles are going to be zeroed at 150. If you don't know what zeroing means, that'll come in a later episode. But basically what that means is at 150 meters, if an object is 150 meters away from me and I aim at it, the bullet is going to go exactly where it's supposed to at 150 meters. So, where you can kind of look at that is, let's see, okay, let's take this for example. This is what it looks like on your map whenever you spot an animal on your map. You spot an animal, this icon pulls up, right? So, say you want to figure out how far away this animal is from you. Let's say, even if it's not for shooting purposes, it's for you want to not scare it, right? That's very important. You don't want to spook it if you see a big animal. So, you hit your map button, and obviously this little white thing with an arrow, that's you. I'll put an arrow pointing at you. Well, whenever you put it up against this, like I said, previously spotted red deer, if you zoom out and you look in the very bottom right-hand corner, right below La Curva del Cazadora, whatever that is, and some numbers, the coordinates, right under that it'll say 368.03. What that's telling you is that animal, where you last spotted it at, was 368 meters away. So, yeah, 368 meters. That'll give you an idea of whenever to stop walking, start running, and all that stuff. I usually end up placing a marker there whenever I see something because I'm real peculiar about that kind of stuff. So, there you go. That's how you do it. Again, from where you are, and you move this guy in the bottom right-hand screen, wherever your little cursor is, that is how far away from that point you are standing right now. Kind of helpful. I wish I knew that whenever I first started. Now, one thing that's very important, need zones. You'll hear people talk about need zones a lot. What that does is, for one, it keeps your map populated. But two, it also tells you what animals are doing at what time of the day and where they're going to be. So, for instance, red deer drink from 5 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Obviously, if your time is between 5 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., if you're hunting for red deer, you need to go by water, because they drink at water. I know, mind-blowing, believe me. Took me forever to figure that one out too. But, nonetheless, that is what they're doing, right? And I suggest hunting during drinking zones always. Kind of. Well, let me rephrase that. I always suggest hunt around water. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to put up a tent at every single lake and just hop around from lake to lake to lake to lake, because you miss a lot. And you might miss a ginormous max weight track that you didn't know was there because you keep hopping around from tent to tent to tent. Don't do that. Put a tent somewhere in here, right? That way you're a decent amount away from all 3 lakes, which they've already done for you because they put outposts down here. Just saying, stuff like that is very helpful. Perfect example of what I'm about to talk about is, again, hunt near water because drink zones are the easiest to hunt. This is the most open area that you're going to get. If you hunt through all of this forest, as of course it starts to rain, you'll get some open areas, but for the most part it's going to be kind of hit or miss. You'll go through some patches where it's very woodsy and then very open. If you're at water, you're pretty much guaranteed it's going to be pretty much open. There's not going to be a tree in the middle of your lake, so don't worry. Now, just because there's drinking zones doesn't mean that they only drink around water. For instance, check this out. There's a feed zone right there for European hares. European hares eat around water. Here's another rest zone. European hares, they rest around water. Granted, I know that's, well, dude, that's only rabbits. No, okay. Looky here, Spanish ibex, they eat right next to water. Look at this, Iberian wolves, they rest next to water. My point is, if you hunt around water, you got a good chance you're going to see animals doing things other than just drinking. That's why I hunt around water. Next thing is very, very important. It's hunting pressure. What is hunting pressure, you ask? You're full of great questions today, let me tell you. Alright. What hunting pressure is these purple spots on your map right here. What is that? Well, what that is, whenever you shoot an animal, where you shoot it is in the center of the map, or in the center of this purple circle. That's how you can tell if your animal also died, because there will be hunting pressure up. What you have to make sure you do, don't be like me and shoot up an area like so. What this did is I had a drink zone right here. I shot more than 3 animals in that area. So now, that zone is gone. Granted, it might be on the other side of the lake. It could show up here, 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 somewhere else. But, kind of makes things a little more difficult, right? So that's an issue. But, nonetheless, you don't want to do that. So, hunting pressure also prevents big animals from coming through. You're not going to see a big legendary level 9 red deer walk through this area anymore. It's not going to happen. Because they don't want to go near where their buddies have died, okay? It's like a wolf cemetery over there right now. Because I've had to shoot a bunch of wolves. It's not going to happen. You want to make it to where animals will kind of walk through a more even path. You don't want to clump up one big area for hunting pressure. Well, if I shoot an animal and hunting pressure shows up, can I never shoot an animal in that spot again? Wrong. You can. So, I had hunting pressure all over here earlier, prior to me blowing up this area right here. Whenever you shoot an animal and new hunting pressure appears, whatever the oldest hunting pressure on your map is starts to disappear. That's very important. That's very, very important, because if you have now, let's say I want to eliminate this area of hunting pressure, well, I'm going to have to go shoot a lot of stuff, because I've got this that was there before, this, and that. All of that hunting pressure, I got to try to get rid of now if I want, or I got to try to get rid of first before I can get rid of this. So, but no worries, if you do it, eventually that big old purple blob grimace looking thing is going to go away. So it'll all be good. But that's just something to kind of keep in mind, because if you want big animals, there's not going to be one right there. He might walk all the way around, but he ain't going through that area. Last but not least, whenever you spot an animal, you definitely, kind of already talked about this already, but it will show you what weight they are. I believe it does that whenever you're a beginner, maybe not. It might only show you what level they are, but I believe it will show you what weight they are as well. So, you got to join the Discord. Link will be... You have to comment for it because I still don't know how to make it permanent. I know, I've said it 100 times. I get it, alright. But regardless, still. Link will be in the description for Twitch, and you can ask for it there also. Anyways, take a look. 2 to 3 kilograms for a rabbit. That's actually a really big rabbit. I might have to go look for that later. But I know that because I pay attention to the weights. If you want to go for bigger animals, which you're a beginner, so in my opinion, shoot everything you see. If it walks, it's dead. If it's brown, it's down. You know the saying. Alright? So, shoot everything you see. This cone here, it tells you what direction the animal just went in. So, if you're trying to track an animal, obviously, if you think he went this way, you're going to want to start walking this way. Pretty simple, right? Hopefully so. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Hopefully you did. Like I said, I've got 6 more episodes on the way. That was just the very, very beginning. So, let me guys know what you think. Let me know if this is helpful. I'm going to start getting into more advanced stuff here very soon. And yeah, so, you guys know the drill. You got to keep fishing. You got to keep hunting. And you must keep praying, guys. I love y'all. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for us growing so quickly. And let's just keep it up. I love you guys.